Alright, so starting tomorrow, not only are we going to get one of the biggest updates over on Brave Souls, we're also getting our mid-month banner for the month of November, arriving a day earlier than usual. Mid-months are consistently dropping around the 16th to the 19th. As of late, it's been the 19th, but every now and then it might drop a day earlier or a day later. In this case, though, it's dropping a day earlier, and we're getting a new 5-star version of Basby and also Robert. Character choosing, I really like the banner, introducing a remake of a past Quincy that we had in-game, getting their first anime version, but also our very first character featured in Brave Souls, that of course being Robert. The quick TLDW for this video though, which you likely already have the same opinion, is that this banner is quite the easy skip. I don't think anyone really needs to summon on this unless you are massive fans of Basby and or Robert. And if you are, by all means, go ahead and summon. But from a meta standpoint, you can kind of even go about these characters. I know everyone, myself included, wants a cooldown, and while yes, this is another 1000G bundle banner, with the way the characters did turn out, I do consider this a pretty easy cooldown banner. Even if you are tempted to summon on this banner, remember this banner is here until the end of the month. So as always, I would always recommend waiting to see what end the month is first. That will be getting announced on the 27th, so only 10 days away. And then you can make your decision if you want to go on for this banner or if you want to summon for end of month. With that said though, let's talk about the two new characters. The first one being Basby. Finally, after many years, we got our first ever power Soul Reaper killer. At least a good one, because that's what Basby basically is. He's a melee Soul Reaper killer, designed to be used in the melee Soul Reaper guild quests. And from the attainable skills that he can get, he should be a really good option as a lead if you are lacking the other plentiful melee Soul Reapers that this game does have to offer. In terms of damage output, the character has Frenzy +3 only in guild quests. Outside of guild quests, it will be Frenzy 2. He gets more killer effect, more melee damage. Upon inflicting a stat element, which he does have an increased chance to inflict burn against all Soul Reapers, he will then get an 80% spiritual pressure boost. Alongside that, any damage to burning enemies will also be increased by 80%. Unfortunately, just like the Candice that we did see it last month, I guess Caleb's way of balancing a mid-month unit in this case, despite his crazy skill set here, is the fact that the character does not have a berserker value. That, for those that are wondering, is strong attack damage increase. This definitely can be a problem in and outside of guild quests. With Candice in particular, it was definitely noticeable outside of guild quests. In the case of Basby though, lucky for him, his damage to burning enemies is doubled to what Candice had, and from the looks of it, does have an overall better strong attack hit. So he's definitely going to play better, and even damage-wise will be hitting a tad bit harder in and outside of guild quests. In addition to that, Basby's strong attack 3, what I really do like, is a trap effect. So it'll be an AoE in front of him, he'll place an effect on the floor. If any enemy stands on it, they have a very high chance to get inflicted with burn, where he then gets his 80% additional burn damage. The best part about this skill, despite the character having an increased chance of Soul Reapers, is that when you aren't using this character in his Soul Reaper specific content, it will mean that he still has a good chance to get a spiritual pressure boost, because his increased chance is only 2 Soul Reapers. I think for a mid-month character, he's honestly very good, and he kind of has to be because he is a character designed in mind to be used in guild quests, and that phase has very powerful characters like Yatru and also True Shikai Ichigo. It definitely could have been better. He's really like Candice missing Berserker, but I feel like it's overall going to be a solid unit in and outside of guild quests, especially if you are a Basby fan. And this definitely isn't going to be the last Basby we do get. Since he is a Quincy, likewise with Robert, we'll talk about him in a minute, you can, as always, pair him with Remy, the best character in the entire game, and the best support for any upcoming and current Quincy character. With Grammy in the team, it will give him additional 20% strong attack damage and then 30% more damage inflicted to burning enemies. So even at 1 out of 5, this will allow Basby to be a very solid melee Soul Reaper killer, especially again in guild quest content where this character is designed for. Unfortunately, even with those praises, even though he is going to be a solid character in the melee Soul Reaper guild quest, like I mentioned, that guild quest phase is very competitive. There's a lot of great characters, namely Ichigo and Yatru, and if you have those characters, especially duped out, this character is not really going to offer much in your account. And that can be seen as a good thing. It means if you're trying to keep up with the guild quest meta, you almost don't need this character. Yatru in particular is over a year old. She was featured in 2 of the biggest banners of the year. You'll likely have her duped out. I know many, myself included, many of my guildmates have her max transcended, and there's no way a 1 out of 5 Basby is going to replace that. Even True Shikai Ichigo, who has a pretty decent chance, not guaranteed, to appear on the end of year banner as a filler, because he will eventually be a year old. Just getting a duplicate of him, even at 1 out of 5, I'm pretty sure they'll get very similar, if not same clear scores. And if you are someone that doesn't care about getting the best of the best score, Just want to clear it. Again, if you already have Ichigo and Yachiru, you don't need this character. A good character. I'm glad that we're finally getting a new Basby, especially in an attribute and killer combination that has been non-existent for the past few years. But in terms of Guild Quest scores, as good as he is, you can go without him. You can go without him. After that, though, we have my favorite character in the banner, Big Robert. Finally arriving in Brave Souls, and he's going to fill the role of a ranged normal attack damage character for the Aranka Killer Guild Quest. With that in mind, he doesn't do anything super unique, but he does have all the skills and strong attacks that you do want for a character like this to be used in Guild Quest. With that in mind, he has a pretty high bruiser, as he does have a 105% normal attack damage increase with Flurry +1, but that does get increased to Flurry 2 in Guild Quest. He was also given Long Reach, Guard Break, and 2 extra Flash Steps, so if you do want to use this character outside of Guild Quest, you are going to be limited in where you can use him, but he should play like a pretty decent normal attack damage unit, especially with the visuals that he does have. He looks like a really cool unit, by the way. But in Guild Quest content in particular, he's just going to be doing consistently good damage. And one of the more unique things about him is that after getting 30 enemies defeated, he will give his entire team a 20% strong attack damage increase. It's about time we started to see normal attack damage characters, especially ones that are designed to be used in Guild Quest, where they can actually buff the characters they want to be paired with, SP units, in this case Bambietta. While this doesn't really help him all that much, it doesn't give him any extra damage, it's still really good to have, and it means if you don't have Mugetsu, you're able to buff your team by 20%. His SA2, of course, as he is a Guild Quest character, is a team boost, providing a 43% attack, focus, and defense increase to all your characters. Since he wants to be used in the ranged Aranka Guild Quest, he's going to pair very well with Zombie Bambietta, who recently just came out. And like I mentioned with Basby, ideally whenever you're using a Quincy, you are going to want to use Gremmy. And these 3 characters are going to work very well together, because not only is Bambietta getting buffed by Gremmy's damage abilities, now so is Robert. The way Bambietta is designed, if you do have her, is that she's almost always going to be inflicting stat ailments, and that will then again let Robert do more damage and also stay safely at full stamina. Similar to Basby when it comes to the ranged Aranka Guild Quest, that are already an exceptional good set of units. This character also technically isn't needed if you have 1000 Blood War Aizen, who technically works well with Robert since Robert is giving technique characters 20% more normal attack damage. If you have Luna Rukia, they also serve as the team booster, and they are perfectly fine with all that Bambietta as your lead. But Robert right now definitely does look to be the best normal attack damage character for this phase, and if you can pair him with Gremmy and also Bambietta, that likely is going to be the team that can get the highest score possible in the ranged Aranka Guild Quest. But like I said with Basby, you know, if you're not interested in getting the highest score possible, and you just want to clear, get all the orb rewards, well then you don't technically need him. And again, if you have Aizen and also Luna Rukia, it further pushes the need for this unit in my opinion. He definitely is a meta character in Guild Quest, a good character to have, a cool unit to play with, but just like Basby, definitely not a must summon even from a meta standpoint unless you care about getting the highest score possible in Guild Quests. So with that, that's the 2 new units that are coming to the game. And then with these 2 new units, we are getting this particular Philippum. A quick TODW, Ichigo is going to be a droplet farmer. If you want droplets, this character is good to have. Xiaolong doesn't really have much usage for him. Likely if we get a new Senkamoto Tower in 2025, which does seem very likely. He'll probably get a stage for himself, but again, is kind of just there. Decent link at the very least. Haribel is a very powerful, the best technique super linker farmer in her attribute. Okura is kind of also just there. Tsukishima is a good normal attack damage character for his respective Guild Quest phase. Momo is a +5 Linkstar Potion character. If you want more Linkstar Potions, she's a good link to have. Shui is one of the best supports for any Mind Swiper character in the game, especially in Guild Quest content. Really good character to have in my opinion, despite the character itself not really being that good. You're only using it for those 2 skills. Ilfor is a Linkstar character. That's really about it. Nothing super crazy. We have plenty of Linkstar farmers in the game. Ishin is a decent Brave Battle unit. Not as needed as he used to be, but just a decent filler spot in a team. And then Sun is another Linkstar Potion link to get 5 more Mind Linkstar Potions. When it comes to the banner format, remember this is a crown step up, so you got discount, discount guarantee, discount, discount guarantee, discount, discount normal multi, and then step 10 does guarantee you a new character. And since there are only 2 new characters, it's a 50-50% chance for Basby and also Robert. And keep that in mind, it's always going to be 50-50. If you pull Robert in these 9 multis, you are not guaranteed Basby on the 10th step. I've seen so many people fall for that and think you're guaranteed the other unit. You're not. No matter what character you pull, no matter what happens in the first 9 multis, step 10, and also by default, step 20 is always going to be 50-50 chance for Basby or Robert. But that does mean if you're only pulling for 1 unit, let's say your favorite character, maybe Basby, you have a pretty good chance of getting him by step 10, hopefully. Like I mentioned, no big need to summon on this banner. The filler pool isn't anything super great. Characters themselves are good. They're not bad by any means, but even on a meta standpoint, you can kind of go without them. We're also coming up to the end of the year, so orbs are best spent on November end of month, whatever that might be, and of course the guaranteed end of year banner. And at the same time, remember, these are mid-month units, and we do know after 6-ish months time, they will start to become fillers. End of month characters in particular take around a year, so these characters will be seen a lot more often this time next year in better future 1000-year Blood Red banners. So like I mentioned, I think everyone can skip with ease, but if you are a massive Bazby and also Robert fan, well then maybe you have to summon that ultimately comes down to you. But remember, any orb spent here is less orb spent on the end of year banner, unless you do have a lot of orbs to farm up. If anyone does have any summon plans in the console, let me know. I think for me, I might not even do one step. We'll really see how it does go. We're getting our big attribute soul tree update tomorrow, so I'll be more focused on the update and the content rather than the new characters and new summons, to be honest. Which isn't a bad thing, but they are cool characters. I do want to get them eventually. Like, I really want to have Robert, but I'm fine with waiting a few months to get him in a future banner. With all these 1000-year Blood War back-to-back banners that we have been getting, I'm hoping this is going to translate to better fillers sometime in the future, because there's no way they're going to all get reruns, considering the amount of banners that can now rerun every 3-ish months. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.